Think of an observable as a magic box, and you want to do something with the values that are coming out of said box. Let's say that you have a function somewhere that somebody else wrote, but that you need to use that returns an observable. Let's call that function getOBS, and it returns a object of type observable of type Boolean. Don't worry about the of statement here. We'll come back to that later. So how do I get the value out of this observable that getOBS returns? Let's create an object that'll hold the observable. It'll be of type observable Boolean, and we'll call getOBS. So now we have a handle on the observable that's returned by getOBS. Great. But how do I get the value out of it? OBS is not equal to true. OBS is an observable. So how do we get true out of this observable? To get values out of an observable, we need to subscribe to the observable. And then we specify in a callback what we want to do whenever something comes out of this observable, whenever something pops out of the magic box. So in this callback, we're saying whatever value gets emitted from the observable, just console log it. This could also be multi-line if you just add curly braces after the arrow function. So now as long as you are subscribed to this observable, anytime something pops out of that magic box, you'll get called here in this callback and we'll console log the value of the observable. This would spit out true. You don't want to stay subscribed to an observable forever. You want to dispose of the subscription when you're done. We do that by getting a handle on the subscription itself. When you call observable.subscribe, it actually returns a subscription object, which is of type subscription. When we're done with the observable, we need to unsubscribe. Great, so that's how we get values out of the observable. How do you create an observable? Well, like we saw before, the easiest way to create an observable is to call the rxjs of function. That will create an observable from a static variable. So if I have a Boolean and I want to create an observable of this variable, we just use the of function. It's common practice to put a $sign at the end of the variable name if it's an observable. There, now you have an observable of this Boolean is true. So that's great for a static value, but what if you want to constantly be emitting whenever this value changes? That's where a subject comes in. A subject gives you the ability to emit values, which will then pop out of the said magic box whenever someone's listening. So then we create an observable off of this subject. We reference the subject and then we say as observable. So instead of creating an observable of type Boolean based on a static value, now we're saying we want to be an observable based off of this subject, which will emit Boolean values. Now, for this observable to emit a new value, we have to use the subject. We could do that by using the next function. Now, if anyone is subscribing to this observable, when we call subject.next, their callback will be hit with the value that we just emitted. That's it. That's the simplest way to create an observable, to use an observable, and to emit new values out of an observable. Stay tuned. We'll get more advanced as we go. If you like this, please like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Thank you.